Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I am here today to do a video that I wasn't planning on doing, mostly because I wasn't planning on hauling any books, but I'm coming at you with a book haul for basically the past 2 months. Now, I haven't really been keeping track as well as I probably should have of where I got all of these books, so they're kind of more going to be categorized by book boxes, books I bought, and books I was sent. And that's about all that I'm gonna separate them out as. So yeah, and I guess we're just gonna hop into it. Yes, I have makeup on today. Why? I'm not sure. I just felt like putting some on. It's been a hot minute since I've put any on, so why the heck not? And I have a Book Dragon shirt on. You can hardly see it because it's too... Yes, okay. I'm moving on now because apparently I'm slightly hyper. Anyways, let's get started. I'm going to start off with the books that I have been sent for review. There are 4 books I have been sent for review in the past 2 months. The first one is Unmasked: My Life Solving America's Cold Cases by Paul Holes with Robin Gabby Fisher. This is a nonfiction about a man who solves cold crimes. So I am intrigued by it. This book comes out in April, so I will hopefully be reading it very, very soon. Like now, actually, is basically when I need to read this. The next book I got sent is The Kingdoms of Savannah by George Dawes Green. This is a novel. It's being released in July. Fine, be that way. It's being released in July. I believe this is basically just about like a small town with issues in Savannah, but I'm honestly not positive. The back doesn't give me a whole lot of information, but I'm still intrigued by it, so hopefully I will read this one soon as well. The next one I got is With Prejudice by Robin Peguero. This is also a novel. It is coming out at the end of May, I believe. May 17th of 2022. This is not a true crime. This is a crime story. This is a debut, I believe. And it's about some injustice in the Justice Department. I believe this follows a jury that the jury is supposed to stay impartial, and this jury, it turns out, has a connection that nobody thought of. So, yes, it'll be interesting. I don't read a lot of actual like true crime stories. I just don't. It's not really something that true crime and fiction, I guess you could say. I don't read a lot of that, but I watch a lot of the shows because yes. So yeah, I'm intrigued. We'll see how it goes. And then the last one I got sent has a letter from the author from the publisher in front. But this is Elsewhere by Alexis Shytkin. This is a author that I've actually gotten an arc from in the past. They wrote Saint X, which I got last year, I want to say. I didn't read it, which I do wish I had. I do want to read it. So maybe I'll do a vlog where I read both of their books. So yeah. This one is about a small town where women don't really do much, and then occasionally they just go missing, and that's normal, and this follows someone who wants to change that. I believe, I'm not positive. Again, I don't know a lot about these books. I didn't read a lot about them before getting them, but I'm still intrigued and I'm still very touched, and I would like to thank the publishers for sending me these books. So, thank you. Now, let's move on to the books I got in book boxes over the past 2 months. I only subscribe to one book box currently, and that is Unplugged Book Box. Just financially speaking, it's what made sense for me. And as far as getting books, book of the month, I wasn't getting very many anymore. I just wasn't interested in a lot of the ones they had. So my tastes are changing, but I really enjoy Unplugged. I always have, and I'm not being sponsored by them, although that would be great, but I have been a fan of theirs for a long time. So my hair is being weird. All right. And the book that I got last month, so February, was A Lullaby for Witches by Hester Fox. This is a dual timeline story. It sounds like about 2 female witches and how their paths intertwine in a dark magic that is kind of haunting either the place or the family. I don't remember. I don't know, honestly. Looks like it's blood, so it's family. It's a family line. So I'm intrigued by this. It has a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. But yeah, so I am excited to read this one. And then for the month of March, I got Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. Not what I expected to get in the Unplugged box, but they always keep you on your toes. And this is a story, a love story between a magicless witch and the alpha werewolf. So I'm intrigued, that's all I need to know, and I know that she doesn't have magic, but they used to be a couple, if I remember correctly, and the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure she gets magic, but I'm intrigued by it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. I'm curious about it. And I really like this art. It's really kind of cute. All right, the rest of the books that I have are ones that I have bought. So yeah, how's that book buying ban going? Yeah, not so well. All right, so let's start with some books that I did buy. These are in no solid order because I don't remember when I bought them. Time has no meaning to me. Sorry. So yeah. One important book to mention that I did get The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I have yet to read it. This is the sequel to Crescent City. I'll probably read it soon. I know Callie's on me about reading it. She had her whole reading vlog about it. We were planning on reading it the same night, but I was actually sick that week. I will read this book. It's a chonker, but from what I understand, if I remember correctly, it's only like 20 pages longer than the first one, which is a little funny. But yeah, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so it'll have that one extra chapter, which is kind of cool. So yeah. I am excited to read it. I'm worried, but I'm excited to read it. I also managed to get a copy of Gallant by V.E. Schwab. It's not hard to get. You can get it anywhere. I got mine at Target. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I mean, obviously, it is V.E. Schwab writing it, so of course it's going to be good. But I believe this is about a girl. All she knows about her past is the journal that her mother left her, and her mother tells her in that journal to never go to Gallant, her homeland, so obviously she goes there because child logic. And yeah, I'm actually very excited to read this. I am intrigued and I want to see what happens. So yeah, and I've heard amazing things about this book, so yeah. Then from Barnes & Noble, I also got The Grimrose Girls by Laura Pohl. This is I want to say it's a dark academia book about a murdered girl. Again, I don't go into my books knowing a lot about them, but I have been seeing this one around quite a bit. Not just online, but just in general. I've seen a lot of people getting it, so I'm intrigued by it, and they had buy one, get one 50%, so this was one of them. I did. And then the other one I got that trip was Malice. Who's this by? Why is the sticker covering up the author's name? That's just rude, Barnes & Noble. That's just rude. Sorry. This is Malice by Heather Walter. This is book 1 in a new series. This is a dark retelling of Sleeping Beauty. I believe this is a sapphic romance also, where the Wicked Witch curses the entire line of princesses, and then this final princess that we meet in this story, she ends up loving, I believe it's the Wicked Witch, or they end up like falling in love or something like that. So I'm intrigued by it. I do enjoy my Sleeping Beauty retellings at times. Picky about them, but I'm intrigued by this one, and it was a Barnes & Noble pick of the month, so I'm intrigued. The next book I got, I believe I actually got from Half Price Books, and that is The Affair of the Mysterious Letter by Alexis Hall. This, all I know about it is an homage to Sherlock Holmes, and I believe it's a female Sherlock Holmes, which I have seen done really well and really poorly. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens with this one. I'm not looking more into it, but it's The Affair of the Mysterious Letter, so I'm assuming it's going to be similar to a Sherlock Holmes story. But we'll see. I don't know. It's also got a blurb on the back from Genevieve Cogman, who I have a couple of her books. So, yeah, I will read that. I'm down for that. Yeah. The next book I also got at half price, and that is The Iliad by Homer. I haven't read The Iliad in a very, 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 very long time, like since high school. So I am starting my master's in the fall, and I do believe this is actually a book that is required for my history one. So I figured I should read it again anyways, and I'd like a copy. It's bigger than I remember it being, but that also is a 17-year-old memory. So it's been a couple years. I also picked up a copy of A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown. I loved the first book in this series. And A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, which I read last year and I really, really enjoyed. And so I had to pick up the second one because I need to know what happens next, because it's really good. If you haven't read it, highly recommend. I also finally got book number 10, volume number 10 in Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoka Kui. This is a super fun D&D inspired manga that I am kind of obsessed with and absolutely loving as I'm going through it. Volume 10 took a year to come out, so I might have to reread volumes 1 through 9 just to know what's happening. But I love this series, and I have loved it for quite some time now. So, highly recommended, and I'm so excited to finally catch up. I also gave in because I had a gift card to Target, and I picked up Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear Frights #1 Into the Pit by Scott Cawthorn. I have another Five Nights at Freddy's book that I have not yet read, but I am very excited. I also have the games that I will be playing, so yeah, look forward to that. I am excited to actually read these. These are tiny, but I think there's now 12 of them, so the fact that they keep going has me intrigued, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, excited. Now, I can't remember if I had this in a past haul or not, but I'm gonna put it in here now anyways. I did pick up Soul Keeper by David Dalglish. I really loved this book. I ended up reading it. This is an apocalypse story, fantastical apocalypse. Basically, it takes place right before and then during/after the apocalypse happens in this world that has forgotten about magic. But when magic comes back, so do the monsters. And so it gets really, really intense, and there's flying giant owls that want to eat you, and it's absolutely insane. And we follow basically a priest who suddenly has to become a monster hunter in order to save his city. And it's very dramatic, very intense, and I really, really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it so much that when John and I went to Barnes & Noble this weekend, I picked up the sequel, which is Ravencalled by David Dalglish. This picks up right where the other one left off, from what I hear, and I got a glimpse of the third book, and I don't want to say spoilers, but if it's who I think it is, then spoilers. If it's not who I think it is, then plot twist. But I think I know what's gonna happen, and I just want to see it happen, and it's so good, and I'm very excited, and I've kind of turned into a lover of these floppy, large paperback fantasy stories because they're so different, and I love it. So, yes. And the last book I have in this haul actually is not for me. It is for John, because we went to the bookstore, just kind of to browse around, because we do that sometimes. And I wanted to pick up this book, and he's like, all right, well, I need a stabby fantasy story with magic. And I was like, all right, let's see what we can find. And so we just went through the fantasy section. He's very picky about what he wants to read. So we ended up settling on The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I've never read this. I don't know a lot about it except for there's dragon on the cover and legitimate, I think this is actually a legitimate dragon. So I'm very curious, and there's their scale. There's your human being for scale, which is amazing. I love it, and right there, I'm intrigued by it. So it's not terribly long. There were some printing errors in this one, which is a little weird, but there were printing errors in all of the copies that the Barnes had, so that was kind of weird. But he's very excited for this one. It's a Norse-inspired epic of blood and vengeance, which right there, we're both very big fans of mythology, and Norse mythology is one of John's favorite, and it's one of my favorites, honestly, too. So we're very curious about this one and where the dragons will jump in and all of that. So he's gonna read this and let me know what he thinks. I might even have him do like a review on it, see what he does, and maybe either post it here or I'll post it on my other channel, depending on when. So yeah, but that's what we got. So in answer to the question, how's that book buying ban going? It's not going at all. It's staying. It hasn't left. So yeah, but that's what I got for you guys here today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I did, and now I feel silly for saying I'm on a book buying ban, but I'm obviously not. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I did, and if you did, now is the perfect time to give it a thumbs up and to hit that subscribe button down below. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and the occasional Sunday. And if you want to be reminded when we post these videos, hit the little bell icon down below. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading. Bye!